Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to All Levels Yoga, ending with a 10-minute guided meditation. Today, the meditation is addressing fear and anxiety, specifically worry. And it's inspired by spiritual teacher Michael Beckwith. So grab your blocks, your straps, your blankets, anything you might use for the physical practice. Let's begin sitting down. So worry is an interesting thing to feel, in that I feel like it's getting out of the present moment. It's trying to anticipate something in the future, and often I believe it's rooted in feeling a lack of control. So here is an excerpt from Meditations from the Mat, and it's not specifically about worry, but I think it can bring some light into the subject. Let your practice be a refuge from the need to control. Get out of the driver's seat for a while and enjoy the scenery. Let the river of yoga take you where it will. If you hit white water, stay in the canoe and keep paddling. When you enter calm pools, do the same. In 1999 summer solstice, a Native American gathering in Arizona, a Hopi elder told this story. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and suffer greatly. Know that the river has its destination. The elders say we must push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above the water. See who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment we do that, our spiritual growth comes to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred way and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Now go to your mat. That's not what the Native American elder said, but in the book it says, now go to your mat and push off from the shore. So in disentangling ourselves from any anticipation of what's going to happen next, whether outside of this practice or in this practice, and even letting go of dwelling on the past, and being right here, right now can be such a powerful opportunity to tune in to Source, tune into grace, tune into joy. And I love that, letting go of the word struggle in our attitude. Can we bring that sense of celebration in how we breathe, move our bodies, connect with our spirits, our minds? I invite you to set your left palm at the center of your chest and your right palm just on top of that, like a feeling of reassurance onto your heart. Feel what your body is resting on. And as you connect to that support beneath, allow a feeling of blossoming up through the crown of your head, as though there was a lotus flower there, just rising towards the sunlight, feeding itself with its warmth. And as you feel those two energies of rooting and rising, observe what's between. Feel the physical space within your body. Invite the river of your breath to flow a little slower through it, as though it was appreciating each way in and each part of the way out. And with your breath, celebrating that receiving of life force as you slow down the breath. And perhaps even a nice big sigh. Diving into deeper breaths. feeling the flow, the ease. As you exhale, consciously let your belly hollow towards your back body, drawing the navel inward towards your spine. And as you close your lips, if you can, just breathe through your nose. Let's build some warmth. And continue sustaining your breath evenly through your nose, in and out, while softly narrowing the back of your throat, inviting a gentle whisper that you could listen to. Hearing balance in your breath. As you continue tuning into that, let's place the hands face down onto your lap and begin to circle your torso forward as you inhale. Circle your torso back as you exhale, and then a few more rounds. As you're ready, switch direction. No rush to get anywhere. Right here in each part of the breath is exactly where we're going. And then as you come back to center, let your chin softly drop towards your chest and begin to circle your skull so slowly. Staying aware of your breathing. Perhaps a couple of circles in one direction before you switch directions. And then coming back to center as you lift the crown of your head, bring your left fingertips to the right side of your skull and just gently lean your left ear down to your left shoulder, extending your right arm wide. Reach out to your right fingertips. Feel your in-breath traveling into your lower belly, the sides of your rib cage, blossoming your heart space open. Hear the exhalation glide past the back of your throat as it empties through your nostrils. 2 more breaths. Exhaling, release your skull upright, and let's switch hands. Right fingertips to the left side of your skull. Lean your right ear gently towards your right shoulder. Then lengthen your left arm open and reach out to your fingertips. Now notice your face with curiosity. How does your jaw feel right now? Your tongue, the skin on your forehead, your eyes. Can you bring that same quality of ease that's in your breathing into the muscles of your face? Last 2 breaths. As you empty this breath, come back to center. And if you're sitting cross-legged, let's just even it out by switching the leg that's forward or on top. Inhale, extend your arms straight up, draw your shoulders and hips down, feel the length of your neck. And as your pelvis stays still, begin to twist to your left, just rotating your rib cage. Then lower your hands. So left hand behind your pelvis, right hand wherever you can reach towards the outside of your thigh. And then sit up a little taller as you honor the space between your chin and your chest. As you exhale, see if you can deepen the twist. Feel that spiraling energy across your mid-back, across your waistline. A sense of wringing out any unnecessary tension that your mind has built into your physical body, perhaps through any kind of worry. Take a deep exhalation here. Bottom of it, come back to center, release. Root down to your sitting bones. Inhale, raise your arms, relax your shoulders, and to your right, exhale, twist. Use the side muscles of your torso and then lower your hands. And if you're able to reach, try pressing the back of your left hand against your right thigh. Deep breath in. Feel space throughout your neck. Exhale, deepen the twist. So what might you be energetically ringing out in this physical action? Purifying, releasing. Take another deep breath. Bottom of the exhale, unwind and release. Let's bring the soles of your feet together. Bring your heels close to your pelvis. Catch your big toes, your outer feet. Sort of like you're reading a book, open the soles of your feet. Press down to your pelvis, lift up to your sternum, deep breath. And then keeping a long spine, begin to hinge forward from your hips. Walking your hands forward. So here, as you keep your pelvis feeling heavy towards the ground, can you draw your navel inwards slightly towards your spine and feel that support in your lower back? Then breathe expansion across your collarbones. Slightly lift your sternum. Let your shoulder blades melt further down as you fold in a little deeper. Bound angle pose, or Baddha Konasana. Now imagine the area of your lower back, your sacrum, wide across it. Take a deep breath as though it were lungs. Let it soften as you slowly exhale. One last time, across your lower back, deep inhalation. Consciously relax it as you exhale. Let your belly draw in. As you inhale and lead with your chest, walk your hands towards you to rise up. Let's come on down to all fours, hands and knees. Come up high on your finger pads. So not only your fingertips get really, really tall, like your fingers have stilettos. And then from here, let your shoulders stack above your wrists, but walk your knees a couple inches behind your hips. On an inhale, glide forward, then peel your chest open towards the sky. Shoulders rolling down. Tuck your toes. Exhale, contract your belly, look down and round your back. Feel the fullness of each posture as you continue on for a few more breaths. Inhaling to lift the chest, tailbone 2. Exhaling to dome your back as you hollow your belly. Let your tucked toes add a little more stretch into your back when you round it. Finish one more round. And as you breathe out, relax to a neutral spine, untuck your toes, and then press your palms face down. Spin your fingertips out to face the outer edges or rear edge of your mat to stretch your inner wrists and forearms. From here, see how much amount you might lean back towards your feet. Perhaps no amount at all, but just feel into whatever balanced stretch you can give your inner wrists, your forearms. Relaxing your jaw, notice if any tension arises elsewhere. Breathe in. Slowly breathe out. And as you lean back into your legs, make fists with your hands. Then lean your fists against each other while leaning the backs of your fists onto your mat Flaring your elbows apart off your mat, begin to rock forward slowly as you choose the amount of weight to place into this outer wrist, outer forearm stretch. If you start to notice tension creeping into your neck, your jaw, you might even softly shake your head to release. And then from here, set your hands back onto the ground and plant your index fingers parallel facing forward. Widen your thumbs flat. And as if your hands were trying to push the mat forward away from your feet, tuck your toes, bend your knees, and lift your hips as high and far back away from your hands as you can. Feel that stretch into your back body. Take a few breaths if you want to pedal your feet out or any kind of movement to help you loosen up in downward facing dog. Now open up as much space as possible surrounding your neck and shoulders. Let your head fall, lift your shoulders back away from it, and rotate the outer sides of your upper arms towards the ground. Perhaps you bend your knees as you find the highest lift of your sitting bones, finding true length in your spine. As you draw your navel in, firm the fronts of your thighs back and sink your weight down the backs of your legs. Steady your gaze on the ground towards your feet, and let's take 3 more breaths in stillness. Then walk your feet about a foot forward, closer to your hands. Separate your feet about as wide as the width of your mat, entering a twist. Now you could prop your left hand on top of a pillow or block here to make this twist more accessible if you need. Pick up your right hand and cross it to the outside of your left calf, ankle. Root your right heel downward. Keep drawing your right hip back to keep your hips balanced, and then look under your left armpit towards the sky, spiraling your torso into a twist. Deep breath in. Slow, celebrating breath out. Feel your neck soft as your shoulders rise away from it. Then set your right hand down in front, maybe on a block. Cross your left hand to catch hold of your outer right calf or ankle, and firm down to your left heel. Draw your left hip back as you look underneath your right armpit towards the sky. And relax your eyes. Relax your neck and mouth. Last 2 breaths here. Slowly walk your hands back towards your feet. Keep this sort of wide stance with your feet. Make sure they're parallel. And then bend your knees generously, reaching your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers or grab a strap to hold between them. As you shift more weight into the balls of your feet, firm in your belly. And knees bent, inhale, lift your chest, look towards the front edge of your mat. Exhale, keep shifting your weight forward as you bow from your hips, dropping your skull completely. Stretch your arms away from your lower back. Feel that openness in your chest. Breathe into it. You might softly move your skull and make sure your neck is soft, lifting your shoulders again away from it. One more. Bend your knees from in your belly. Inhale, lift your chest and lengthen your spine parallel to the ground. Then exhale, fold a little deeper. Perhaps you straighten the legs a bit more here. Shoulders rising away from your neck. Arms reaching forward away from your back. Take a deep breath in. Let your lips flutter this time as you breathe out. Release your arms. Let them hang freely as you bend your knees a lot more. Firm in your belly and inhale to roll your spine slowly upright, stacking one vertebra at a time. Lifting your head last. Now once your head comes up, rotate your shoulders behind you, releasing them down, palms face forward by your sides. Let's walk up to the top of your mat. Feet hips distance, parallel, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, bow from your hips. Press the ground or your legs, and inhale, lift your chest, lean forward. Plant your hands flat on the earth, step into plank, and let's pause there for 3 breaths. Knees could be on the ground for added support, otherwise legs straight, creating a strong line of energy from the crown of your head, tailbone to inner heels. Lift the sides of your waist and gaze forward on the floor. Chaturanga Dandasana. As you exhale, glide forward, bend your elbows back to hug your sides, pause halfway down, firm your heels back, and then lower all the way down. Sphinx pose. Slide your forearms forward, lifting your chest. Land your elbows about an inch in front of your shoulders. Feel your ankles, hips width apart as you actively stretch your toes back and press every toenail on the ground. Take a deep inhale and lift your sternum. Lengthen the back of your neck. Exhale, slide your hands back for cobra. Heels of your palms alongside your floating ribs. Hug your elbows close to your sides. Keep your feet on the earth as you inhale your chest up and wide. Tuck your toes. Exhale to your version of plank pose. Draw your navel in to lift your hips back. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Bending your knees, look past your hands. At the bottom of your exhale, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Press with your fingertips. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold in. From down through your feet, inhale, sweep your arms overhead to rise. Watch your palms touch. Exhale, bring them together at your hearts. Inhale, circle the space around you. Exhale, dive in. Inhale, expand your heart center forward. Float to chaturanga or step into plank and lower. This time, cobra or upward facing dog as you inhale. Draw your belly in to lift your hips back. Downward dog, 3 breaths. On your third inhalation, bend your knees to prepare and gaze past your hands. Once you've emptied your breath, hold it out to walk or float forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise tall. Gaze up. Exhale, bring that to your heart. Last time, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen forward. Float back or walk back. Cobra or upward facing. Draw your navel in, downward facing, 3 breaths. Feel your thumbs and index fingers root down firmly between them. Wrap your triceps towards the floor. Then come down to your knees and set your elbows directly beneath your shoulders. Parallel your forearms or interlace your fingers. Gaze just slightly past your thumbs or in between them. And broaden your chest forward as you slide your shoulders down your back. Lifting your navel, Tuck your toes and walk them back until your legs are straight, feet together, forearm plank. 5 breaths. Inhale, gaze forward, broaden your chest. Exhale, 5. Inhale, firm your heels back, engage your quadriceps. Exhale, 4. Inhale, lift your navel towards your spine. Exhale, 3. Deep breath in, smile, notice that difference. Exhale, 2. Even bigger smile, inhale because it's the last breath here. Exhale, down to Sphinx pose. Cross your left forearm in front of your chest, bend your right knee and backstroke your right arm, catching hold of the big toe side of your right ankle or foot. Then have your knees no wider apart than hips distance. Ground both of your frontal hip bones and bring your right heel gently towards the outside of your right hip. Broaden your chest to face forward and soften your shoulder heads down. Last 3 breaths. Feel your right quadricep lengthen. On your next exhale, release your right leg straight. Return to Sphinx with both forearms. And scoot your knees close together. Cross your right forearm in front of your chest. Bend your left knee back, stroke your left arm, and get hold of the big toe side of your ankle or foot. With knees no wider than hips distance, ground your 2 frontal hip bones. Bring your left heel slightly to the outside of your left hip and slide your 2 shoulder blades further down your back ribs as you breathe openness in your heart center. With an exhale, release your left leg. Place your palms alongside your floating ribs, tuck your toes. Look at the ground ahead and lift your shoulder heads. Hug your elbows close to your sides. Pressing your heels back, firm the front muscles of your thighs. Draw your navel in, take a deep breath. As you exhale, press up into your version of plank. Then lift your tailbone back, downward facing dog. Spin your left heel down where it is, and bend your right knee towards your nose, stepping your right foot directly between your hands. Warrior 1. Align your right heel to the arch of your left foot, then cartwheel your arms to rise up, arms wide open. Feel that you're wrapping your right sitting bone and outer hip down beneath your body. As you bend your right knee to stack directly above your heel, align the center of it with your middle toe, facing forward. Feel your left leg slightly turning inward. As you straighten it, firming the outside of the heel into the ground, firm the top of your left thigh bone towards the right edge of your mat. Relax your shoulders and imagine your own wingspan from your heart center. Take a deep breath and go to all the ends of your fingertips with it. Maybe sit the right knee a little lower. We have 3 more breaths here. Grounding in Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten your right leg as we prepare for triangle pose. Shorten your stance perhaps 2 to 3 inches. Root down through both feet, toes spread, and slide your pelvis sideways towards the rear edge of your mat, reaching your right hand forward horizontally as far as you can before lowering it, either onto your right leg or just to the right of it, maybe on a block, where you could firm against your right leg with your arm or block. Raising your left arm, rotate the left tricep slightly to face your left wall and the front wall. Then raise your left arm overhead, drawing both shoulder blades down your back. Reach your tailbone actively towards your left outer heel. Feel your lower belly firm in as you spiral your chest slightly to face the sky. Perhaps you gaze upwards. Last 3 breaths. Look down at your right foot, inhale. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog or flow through your vinyasa first, your choice. Deep breath in. Slow releasing breath out. Spin your right heel to the ground. Bend your left knee towards your nose. Set the foot lightly between your hands. Align your left heel to the arch of your right foot and windmill your arms to rise. Warrior 2. As your left sitting bone rolls underneath your body, bend your front knee to stack just on top of your ankle, aligning the center of your left knee with your center toe beneath it. Rotating your right leg slightly inward, straighten it, and firm the outside of its heel into the earth. Pressing the top of your right thigh bone back towards the left edge of your mat. Feel the lift of your navel towards your spine. Then imagine your heart center. Radiate a full expansion of breath across your wingspan, reaching past the boundaries of your skin. Feel that energy of expansion here. Any areas tensing that you might be able to relax, or any areas to enliven, to feel supported and strong. Last 3 breaths. Then straighten your left leg. Step your feet a little closer together for triangle pose. Slide your pelvis sideways towards the rear edge of your mat. Reach your left arm horizontally forward as far as you can before lowering it. Keep wrapping your left sitting bone beneath you as you draw your tailbone back towards your right outer heel. Then rotate your right tricep to face your right wall and reach your right arm overhead towards the front. Sliding both shoulder blades down your back, draw your lower belly towards your back and see if you might be able to spin your chest slightly more to face the sky. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Last 3. Look down at your left foot, inhale. Exhale down to downward facing dog or flow through your vinyasa first. Drink up a full breath. And sigh it out. Once more. Drink it up. Cheers to the very top. And let it go. Walk your hands back towards your feet into a forward fold. Bend your knees any amount you need and lift your toes. Slip the palms underneath the soles of your feet. Allow your toes to meet the inner creases of your wrists. Another outer wrist stretch here in Padahastasana, a forward fold. As you inhale, lift your heart. Imagine pressing it through the gates of your arms. Keep shifting forward as you hinge deeper from your hips. Once more. Inhale, rise, lengthen halfway up. Keep drawing your shoulder blades onto your upper back as you fold in. Let your head fall, perhaps softly move it around. Feel the ease in your neck, a release in your spine. Slip your palms out from beneath. Bring your hands to your hips, slightly bend your knees, firm in your belly, and lead with your chest. Inhale, slowly rise. So let's bring the feet together to touch as we prepare for Uttita Hasta Parangushtasana. A little balancing. Shift your weight onto your left foot and spread your weight to the four corners of that foot. Feel active in your quadricep. Bend your right knee in front of you and flex the foot. Balance your two hips. Either catch hold of your outer knee with your right hand or bring your index and middle fingers to clasp the big toe from the inside of your leg so that you can, some degree, straighten the leg forward, drawing the shoulder back and down. Feel the center line of your body, stable, vertical. Begin to rotate your right thigh to turn out, opening the leg as you open your left arm. Stand a little taller as you breathe. Can you feel buoyancy at the middle of your chest? Can you feel rootedness to your standing leg? Maybe explore looking over your left shoulder for the last 3 breaths. Hand to big toe pose. Now, if you're looking away from forward, start to bring your gaze forward, then bring your right leg forward. Raise your left arm, get a little taller for 1 breath in, and then softly land your right foot next to the left. We did it. Mountain pose. Take a moment to pause, maybe close your eyes, and celebrate with a full drink of breath. Feel your presence here. Not anticipating what's next, but just being right here in the fullness of now. Then open your eyes if they're closed. Bring your hands to your hips. Feel their balance as you shift your weight onto your right foot. Feel the right leg active. And as you raise your left knee bent, flex your foot. Feel your lower belly active. Either catch hold of your outer knee with your left hand, or bring your arm inside the leg and clasp your big toe, to some degree straightening the leg forward as you pull it back towards you. Remember counter forces and how they can be used to help balance. Feel the center line of your body upright. Feel your breath at ease. Then begin to turn out your left leg before opening it and your right arm. Feel the support beneath your right foot. Press against it. Maybe you feel you get a millimeter taller. And for the last 3 breaths, perhaps gaze over your right shoulder. Direct your gaze forward. Slowly bring your left leg forward, right arm to the sky. Take another deep breath and softly let it go. Back to mountain pose. Breathe in, fill it up all the way, and let it go. Feel your feet connect as you're standing at the top of your mats. Bend your knees together and sit back towards your heels in chair, Utkatasana. A few breaths here. Let your shin bones glide back. Toes are visible from where you are. Let your tailbone sink down. Let your front ribs hug in towards your back body. And allow your shoulders to melt down with ease, heart center buoyant. Still, last 2 breaths. Utkatasana. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise halfway. Option to flow through a vinyasa or cat-cows. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg back. Pause and breathe here. As you're flexing your right foot, imagine pressing that heel against your rear wall. Draw your left outer hip back and spiral your inner right thigh towards the sky. Then slowly walk your hands back until they land about 1 foot in front of your left toes. Lengthen your spine forward to create a horizontal line from the crown of your head to your inner right heel. You're now in Warrior 3. Feel free to bend your left knee if your hamstring is feeling resistant to straightening your right leg. Lift your navel. Add the qualities of strength and stability of plank pose. Feel also the ease of mountain pose. Perhaps you lift a finger or more. Maybe you join your hands at your heart. Maybe you open your arms like wings, or you extend your arms overhead. Last 3 breaths in Virabhadrasana 3. Now do lower your fingertips if they came off the ground and cross your right foot in front of your left foot, off to the left side. Slightly bend your right knee. Keep your left leg relatively straight. And then lift your chest before you bow forward for a few breaths. Now do any variation with your arms here. You could reach hold of the backs of your legs. You could clasp opposite your fingertips overhead. Couple more deep breaths. Let your sitting bones rise as your head falls. Then lower your fingertips, walk your hands forward, uncross your feet into downward facing dog. Breathe in, clear it out. With no anticipation of what the next step is, feel the fullness of this moment here. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you, flex the foot. Spin your inner left thigh slightly towards the sky, tilting your left hip bone down. Draw your right hip back. Feel the equal length along the left and right sides of your torso. Deep breaths. Begin to walk your hands back until they land 1 foot in front of your right toes. Lifting your chest, imagine pressing your heart through the gates of your arms. Option to bend your right knee. Keep squaring your hips. Feel a hollowness at your belly. Perhaps play with lifting a finger or more. Maybe join your hands at your heart, Warrior 3. Any arm variations you want to play with. About 4 more breaths. Lower your fingertips if they were off the ground. Then cross your left foot in front of your right foot, off to the right side. Keep a bend in your left knee as you keep your right leg relatively straight, lifting your chest, hinge forward from your hips. Breathe in. Breathe out. Anywhere you want to place your arms. From here, crawl your fingertips to the floor and just walk them forward halfway up your mat. Splay your feet apart as you bend your knees to lower onto the ground. You may want to grab a blanket to land your pelvis on behind you, and then come to sit so that you are in cow face pose, Gomukhasana. So from here, feet are apart. If it feels like your pelvis is off balance and you're already sitting on something to help balance it, then you could also straighten your right leg forward, flexing your right foot. And then with your left leg on top, raise your right arm. Use your left hand to help rotate your tricep forward. Bend your right elbow behind your skull and land your palm between your shoulder blades. Now either catch hold of your shirt here, or you could take a strap and dangle it from your right hand. Reach underneath behind you with your left hand. Grab your shirt with it or catch hold of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. Maybe they clasp. Then firm down through both of your sitting bones. Visualize your spine restack from the bottom up as you follow that with your breath. In. Chin parallel to the floor. Exhale down your back body, releasing both shoulder blades down. Inhale up your front body, up the front of your spine, all the way to your forehead, to your crown. Exhale, forward folds. A few more breaths. Begin to lift your chest as you inhale to rise up. Keep the shape of your legs. Lower your left fingertips to the ground behind your pelvis and raise your right arm. Sit up a little taller as you breathe in. And to your left, twist. Now you could either use the back of your left hand or forearm against your left thigh for leverage. Or you could take your left elbow, as we would do in revolved chair pose, and hook it onto your left thigh. Use your hands in prayer position to continue turning your chest. Shoulder blades down your back. Let's take 3 more breaths. The bottom of your exhale, unwind. Let's straighten both of your legs. Let's get into it the same way as the other side. So we just had our left leg on top. Take your right thigh on top, and then you could walk your hands forward to help you hug your thighs a bit closer together, splaying your feet wider apart. Maybe arrange a prop, a folded blanket beneath your pelvis. If you find that you're off balance here, you could straighten your left leg forward underneath. Raise your left arm, maybe holding a strap from it. And with the help of your right hand, rotate your left outer upper arm forward, bend your elbow behind your skull, and land your left palm between your shoulder blades. Reach your right hand underneath, grabbing the strap or your shirt, and walk your hands as close together as you can, maybe clasping them. Firm down to your sitting bones to rebound and lift up to your spine, taking a deep breath. Feel your throat open. Exhale your shoulders further down your back. Inhale up the front of your spine. Imagine that, allowing space and length. Exhale down your back body. Begin to bow from your hips. Now lifting from your chest, inhale to slowly rise. Keep the shape of your legs. Lower your right hand to the floor behind your pelvis. Raise your left arm. Sit tall as you breathe in. Twist to your right as you breathe out. And now either press the back of your hand or forearm against your right thigh, adding leverage to the twist. Or use your left elbow at the top of your right thigh. Join your hands in prayer and continue to bring the center of your chest to meet your thumbs. Shoulder blades moving down your back. Let's take about 3 more breaths. Bottom of your exhale, let it go. And let's step the feet in front of you as you scoot to the middle of your mats. Inverted tabletop pose with your knees bent. Parallel your feet hips width apart. Place your hands behind your pelvis, facing the rear edge of your mat. Separate your wrists, shoulders distance apart. So in this posture, we're going to lift the pelvis and basically be on hands and knees inverted. So you want your torso and thighs to be parallel to the ground and your knees to stack directly above your ankles, your shoulders to stack directly above your wrists. So it requires you to lift your pelvis and contract your hamstrings and slightly your glutes as you lengthen your tailbone forward. Then draw your shoulder blades down your back, broaden your chest with deep breaths, and tilt your chin back just the amount you're comfortable with, taking at least 3 more deep breaths before you lower to sit again. And once you've come down to sit, make some fists out of your hands and gently circle your hands at your wrists. Take one of your blocks, if you have them. Skinniest width of the block, hug it firmly between your thighs. Extend your arms forward, palms face up, root your feet parallel, then slowly lower onto your back. When your head meets the ground, locate your feet by sliding them back enough where you could almost touch the heels with your fingertips. Just almost, but not. Firm down to the 4 corners of your feet. Hug the block firmly between your thighs. Bring your arms close to your side ribs and tilt your chin slightly away from your chest. As you root your shoulders into the earth, prepare for bridge pose. 5 deep breaths. Lifting your pelvis, slide your upper arms beneath your back. Keep your arms straight and perhaps interlace your fingers. Now, as you root down through your left foot, option to straighten your right leg up towards the sky. Flexing or pointing your right foot, lengthening your tailbone towards your inner left knee, coiling your chest up. Now, if you have one leg up, bend that knee and set that foot down with pelvis lifted. And then with an exhale, articulate the release of each vertebra onto your mat. Take a few breaths. We're going for one last bridge pose with the option to lift the opposite leg, with or without the block. That's up to you. At least you know what it feels like to hug your midline. You want to bring that feeling into the next side. When you're ready, lift up for bridge. Upper arms under your back ribs, maybe the hands clasp. As you firm the standing foot down, imagine you're dragging it back towards your glutes without visibly moving it. Keep your hips as steady as possible as you lift the opposite leg, if you are doing so. Point it or flex the foot. Reach your tailbone actively towards your inner thigh of your standing leg. Chest lifting, heart center buoyance. Now it's your call when you're ready to come down. If you have one leg lifted, bend that knee first. Keep your pelvis lifted as you lower that foot. Pause in regular bridge pose. With an exhale, slowly lower your spine. Once your pelvis is on the ground, separate your feet wider than hips distance. Separate your knees just as wide apart. With your arms out of the way, drop both of your knees to your right side. Align your left knee down the center of your mat. Notice what sensations you feel here, especially in your left hip and lower back, side of your lower back. If you're not feeling much yet, you might cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh, just above your left knee, to add its natural weight. You might also reach your arms overhead, bend your elbows, catch hold of opposite elbows. Whatever variation, bring a sense of curiosity to 3 more breaths here. And when you've finished, come back to center, relax your arms, feet apart, about mat width. Then drop both knees to your left. Point your right knee down the center line of your mat. Pause and notice how this side feels. What might be different? Does it need something different? If you need a little more sensation on this side, cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh, just above your right knee. And if still more, raise your arms overhead and switch, crossing the opposite elbow on top to hold. Let's take 3 more full breaths. And as you're ready, uncross your legs and draw your bent knees into your chest, maybe rocking in any direction to massage your back. Maybe a happy baby pose. Any finishing touch for just a few more breaths. Then bring intention into how you position your body to rest completely for the next few minutes of Shavasana. Eyes closed, breath natural. As spiritual teacher Michael Beckwith explains, worrying is like praying in reverse. When you're worried, you're focused on what you don't want to happen, and you emotionally perhaps rehearse for the worst. And that can become a habit. That can become something repeated in the mind over and over again when worrying is intense. So this guided meditation, inspired by him, addresses fear and anxiety, particularly worry. And if you'd like to join for this 10-minute practice, then ease your body out of Shavasana with some gentle movements, perhaps keeping your eyes closed. And in your own way, gradually lift your body upright into a comfortable seat. And just for a moment as you're sitting here, let your hands fist. Feel your arms engaged. Take a deep breath in and let your shoulders rise towards your ears, kind of the opposite of what we've been doing. And then open your mouth side out, release. One more time. Inhale, tense everything up in your body. Squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. Squeeze your face. Open your mouth side out. And now feel relaxation in your body as you allow your spine to sit tall with integrity. Let your palms face up in this gesture of openness. Feel your breath in the present moment, never in the future or in the past, but only existing in the present moment. So that as you feel your breath rising and falling, you know that your attention is present. Call to mind something that you may repeatedly worry about. And for a moment, recall that bad case or worst case scenario. Go ahead and let it replay in your mind just for a moment. And as you let that worry create a picture or sensations, notice the emotional pattern that it brings with it. Notice the thought or belief that's underneath it. Worrying is emotionally and mentally rehearsing for something that you didn't want to happen. It's unconsciously praying for what you don't want, according to the law of attraction, focusing on what we choose to expand. So let's practice breaking that habit. Start to replace the worst case scenario with the best case scenario. Whatever you're worried about, begin to consider a picture. What if something wonderful instead were to occur in this area of your life? What is the best possible outcome? What if something magnificent were to take place? What if a miracle were to happen? Give yourself space to visualize that right now. Now allow the feeling of that to come into play. We're replacing the worst case scenario with first a picture of the best case scenario, and then the feeling of possibility. Linger in that feeling of that magnificent occurrence. Can you notice any subtle or big shift within you? As you gift yourself the opportunity to shift your focus and your perception. And as you do so, you're presently creating a new habit, sort of rewiring your mind. Entertain this feeling just a bit longer. What is the best thing that could happen with what you might have been worried about? Give yourself permission to play in that feeling. Now, as though that feeling were a perfume or a flower, something natural, a scent, take a deep inhale and take it all in. Fill up your lungs, your entire being. Hold at fullness. Linger at that feeling. And as you exhale, let it expand even more, sigh it out. Again, drink up that feeling, that scent, that possibility. Fill it up. Linger at fullness. And as you take a big sigh, let it expand even more. One more time. Inhale, fill it up. Let that feeling permeate every cell of your being. Hold it in at the top. Maybe even try to sip in a little more this time. Big sigh of expansion, let it go. So there are infinite possibilities. And you are taking back your mind where it may have been hijacked by some worry, influenced by the world of fear, lack, disease, separation. And you are rewiring it using visualization, healing. Come back to this practice. Anytime you notice that worry becomes harmful, remembering that the practice of ahimsa is being kind to yourself, even through your thoughts and the reality you project through them. Let's join the palms together at your heart center, bowing in as you lift your heart. Bowing into the strength, the creative strength that rests within you and in all of us. Let's close with one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.
saraswati namaha.